Spring is right around the corner. The migrations are starting and your backyard is about to get incredibly busy. But before the rush hits, we need to talk about something serious. Warm, wet spring weather is the perfect breeding ground for diseases like trichomoniasis and salmonella. If you aren't deep cleaning your feeders right now, you aren't just feeding the birds, you could be spreading illness. So today I'm going through a 30-minute hygiene deep clean to get your yard ready for spring. So let's start with the universal deep clean. This works for almost every plastic or metal feeder in your yard. First off, dump out any of the old, clumpy winter seed. If it looks gross, get it out of there. Next, we mix our disease-busting solution. You don't need any expensive cleaners or special bird feeder cleaners. Just grab standard household bleach and stay away from bleach with added fragrance. The recipe is a simple mix of 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. Now, put this in a large bucket or a tub, and then if possible, submerge your plastic, composite, or metal feeders in this solution for 10 minutes or so. Scrub them down with a stiff brush to remove any stuck-on debris, rinse them thoroughly with clean water, and let them dry completely in the sun. Sunlight photolyzes any residual chlorine in the bleach. Now, if you have smart tech in your yard like the FeatherSnap feeders, the most important rule here, electronics and water don't mix. So first, pop out the camera and set it somewhere safe and dry. You can wipe the camera lens with a dry microfiber cloth and the outside of the camera with a damp rag from the bleach solution. Now the housing still has some electronic components in it, like the antenna inside, so we don't want to submerge the whole thing. I just use a spray bottle to apply the bleach solution. I let it sit for a few minutes, rinse and wipe it out. And finally, again, set it out in the sun to let it dry. But wait, you might be asking, what about wood? Wooden feeders will soak up bleach, so it's important that you use a dilute solution. Again, stick with that 1:9 ratio of bleach to water, and a good bit of sunshine will burn off any chlorine left behind. If you don't want to use bleach, you can always use a stiff brush with some mild dish soap. Either way, be sure to let it dry completely before filling with seed. Now, for things like nest boxes, you want a clean, empty slate for the returning songbirds. They want to build a fresh, parasite-free nest for their spring broods. So if a bird chooses your nest box, they'll usually clear everything out of it anyway, so I just like to give them a safe head start. So what you're going to want to do here is just put on some gloves and pull out the old nesting material. Scrub out the inside with a dry brush and ensure that the drainage holes are clear. You've cleaned your feeders, you've prepped your nest boxes, you're done, right? This is the secret step that most people skip. Look under your feeders. A winter's worth of discarded seed, hulls, and shells is sitting right there. When spring rains hit, that pile turns into a rotting, moldy mess that breeds spores and attracts rodents. So take 5 minutes to rake up or sweep away all the old holes below your feeding stations. Bag it up and throw it in the trash or compost. And this is going to keep the ground sanitary for ground feeding birds like doves and sparrows. So 30 minutes is all it takes to stop the spread of disease and create a safe haven for your local birds. Grab a bucket, get out there, and get ready for spring migration. If this video helped you out, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and stick around for more. Thanks for watching, and happy birding, everyone.